Out on the ocean, you can only come this far. Show them all where the height till living. Those words alone can catch a falling star. I know my Redeemer lives. Yeah, I wanted to get there before I start speaking. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my thoughts on the book of Job. So we are going from Job chapters 15 to 21 today. Quite a long stretch, but a long stretch of hearing Job's friends repeat the same thing over and over again. Job says, I've done nothing, and they are just trying to prove to him that he is wrong, and just still showing us the type of people we are, because it's easy to look at them and go like, terrible people. But one thing is, they just felt the need to speak for God, and that's the way quite a number of us are. We are spewing the insensitive things we are spewing, not because we are just generally insensitive people, but because we feel like that's part of what we are doing to defend the faith, and we feel like we need to help God explain himself. The easiest way to not fall into this trap of becoming a miserable comforter, because Job told them, miserable comforters you are. And the other thing I think I like, anyway, so let me finish that thought. So the way to not fall into that is to be able to say, I don't know why this is happening. God has something he's working out. And there's that song I love that says, God will work it out. God will work it out. One thing I know, one thing for sure, God will work it out. It doesn't make sense all the time, but we just need to know that God is at work. And I've seen this, that's a sign that says God is at work. Be patient, because one thing that we pick from Job in all of this is patience. All of us that are reading to, we must be patient. Because I'm like, God, why did you not just interrupt these guys early? When we get to Elihu, he was not part of the three friends of Job, but he was there. When we get to him, I will now drag Elihu for not interjecting early, because by the time Elihu began to speak, then God took over from there. Because Elihu was speaking the thoughts that were leading to where God was going. So I really wish that he had interrupted these three older men earlier. But Elihu said that, I said, let me keep quiet. Maybe length of days will speak. But so let me not jump ahead of myself. But the long and short is that there are many things that are happening, and most of the people that usually fall into the trap of becoming Job's comforters are people that always have an answer or an explanation for everything. So when you are hit with something that you honestly cannot answer for, rather than saying, I don't know why this is happening, you just feel a need. You must have an answer for everything. For me, that's the place, because we get to a point where Job's friends begin to manufacture sins for Job, and they are saying it with such certainty, like they were there. And it just what it takes me to always is what a friend that told me that when her sister died, people that came to come and comfort them, one of them was telling her that if her sister was a faithful tither, she wouldn't have died. Number one, how do you know she wasn't even tithing? How do you know? But because that theology has been fed into your spirit. So anybody that anything happens to is because they did not give. It's because they did not listen. It is possible. There's a possibility that maybe God said something and they didn't listen. It is possible. But you don't know for sure, because you were not there. So when you say with certainty, because they were like that, you're a wicked man, and they began to preach about wickedness and the features, the 5 or 20 features of a wicked man. And Job, now that part I liked it. Job gave it to them, gave them back they gave him back, they gave them both, because they were like, that one of them, I think it was Zophar, that was saying that these are the things that you will see in a wicked man. And Job let him finish speaking. Job now picked it up and said, yes, so now Job explained wickedness more to them and told them that you people are miserable comforters, you are not helping me. But in all of that, as Job was speaking, in pain, there were some things he was dropping that were prophetic. I believe it was one of those chapters that it says that I know that my Redeemer lives. And one day I will stand before him and we will have a conversation. And when I read that, I was like, oh God. Eventually it happened. And I've gone further than verse 21, so I'm trying to keep myself constrained. And, Job began to access the prophetic from pain. And it just reminds me of something I've said, that God wants your pain. The devil wants your pain. Because pain opens portals. So whoever you hand over that pain to, whoever you allow process that pain, will determine if you open portals that lead to the courts of the Lord or portals that lead to demonology. So what you do with your pain matters. You have to channel that pain and give it to God so he can process it. Because Job was accessing some prophetic things, began to speak about a redeemer and all of that from the place of pain. So pain is not always useless. God uses pain and he uses it for his purpose. And anyway, I'm running out of time. Please share with me whatever thoughts you have from the book of Job, chapters 15 to 21. Thank you for walking with me. God bless you. Love you.